I need you to play a tango.
I love the tango.
What the hell are you doing?
Dancing view. Everybody's watching. You look gorgeous.
It took all day to shoot the tango scene. It was actually a very simple combination of it was only 3 or 4 passes, actually I think only 3 passes. And we choreographed it in about 20 minutes on a separate day during Scott's lunch hour. And then on the day that we actually shot it, it took all day to film it because Joe Napolitano, who's a wonderful director, he set it up as like a big movie musical, and he really shot it from every angle and for dramatic effect for the dialogue. It was quite wonderful. I had had a baby that year, and that particular episode was written specifically for the costume designer Jean-Pierre Dorliac so that he could hopefully garner an Emmy Award. And that tango dress was handmade to fit my specific measurements about 8 months after I had just had a baby. And all they did was take my measurements, and they took every inch of my measurements. And I never got to have another fitting on that dress. And I was literally poured into that dress on the day that we shot that episode. And it was miraculous. He's so gifted. It fit me to a T. It was just it was really miraculous. It wasn't like a dress that you just sort of hope it turns out. It was really awesome. It was a hand shirt. I tried to take it home in the suitcase after that. Yes.
Along those lines, a couple of weeks ago I had the opportunity to tour the Queen Mary. And it wasn't until I hit the pool area that I said, Sea Bride! And I ran home. When I got home, the first thing I did was put in the Sea Bride episode and started looking in the background to see, to see the sets. And I recognized the ballroom where that took place, and the chairs. You actually used the chairs that were on the Queen Mary, and of course the pool. But the staterooms that they took us around to were very different from anything that
was built on the set. That was built on the Universal lot.
That's what I kind of suspected. But
they were replicas of, but not exact. No, I went into some of the staterooms on the Queen Mary, and they were much too small.
Yes.
They're just, and plus it wasn't. There was no room to run, put tracks down for the camera. There wasn't enough room for it. It had about a crew of 40 people, so there really wasn't enough room to fit all those people. And normally on a set, they can make removable walls, so that if they need that area that's not going to be seen, they just take the wall out. But I think they had problems with that on the Queen Mary, removing.
Oh, they objected to that?
Especially since they had just redecorated it. They had just restored it to its original state with the Art Deco. And they were very finicky about all of the gratings and nobody making off with the silver in there. Actors, we have such terrible reputation, so they counted all of the towels before we left.
I think a lot of us have heard about the pie incident on the set of Sea Bride. I was wondering if you hit Scott with pie too. Dean got like.
No, I just got to kiss his boogers after. All that garbage, I had to like scrape it off my face, stuff like that. I kept it all. It's in my script. No, I did not get to get him with the pie. No, I just got the end result of that. But Jean-Pierre was nuts that I was in that wedding gown, having to do that scene with garbage all over him. He was, oh my God, he was like a house on fire. Don't touch him! Don't touch him! Please don't kiss him, please.
those of us who haven't heard, we'd like to hear the dirt on working with Scott in detail. What was it
I was in a coma most of the time. I don't remember. It had that much of an impact on me. Scott is a stage actor, so we had a common ground there, and he's a wonderful man. He's very grounded and very professional. What I really liked about him, and Dean, by the way, is and John Giacchino, back in the lovely John, is that they treat everybody with the same amount of respect. You know, when I was there on the set, he spoke to the extras with the same amount of dignity that he spoke to the director. You know, I think everybody has a bad day, and they're allowed to. And but I didn't witness any when I was on the set. And we were talking about this yesterday. I never saw a script in his hands, and he had 10,000 pages of dialogue. I mean, really, it was amazing. He's a very powerful, self-contained man. He really knows what he's doing. He really knows what he wants. He has an innate animal in him. He's just instinctively sexy, and but he doesn't manipulate that. You know, it's just what he is. He just is that, and I think we had a common ground in our stage backgrounds because I come from theater too, and when you come from you have a common language, you don't have to ask a lot of questions or waste a lot of time getting to know the other person or what they like or dislike, because there's certain like rules that of working together that you just understand. He has a great sense of humor, and he's just he's a saint. Yes, they were. Oh, part of it was on the Queen Mary and part of it was not. The one where he's actually going under the trap, that was actually built on the stage at Universal. That was amazing. They built the water. They built the water tank. They built the garbage thing. It was actually a really exhausting experience for him. He did all of his own stunts, and it was very, very high. It was, I'd say the garbage tank was twice the height of his ceiling. So he really did. He was really on the edge. He really did go down those roads. It really was incredibly painful for him. It was that was a real challenge for him, that scene. He was exhausted. That was real sweat. Nobody was spraying him down.
How many more words do you know?
Нисколько.
No, in English.
Yes, no, hello, goodbye. Capitalists exploit the working class.
Whoa, wait a second. Where did you learn that?
You.
Me? Oh, of course.
You know, I did the first Quantum Leap episode where he leaps into Lee Harvey Oswald, and going to that audition was really something because I was very scared. I really wanted it. And when I went to the audition, there was a lot of people there, like the exec producer, the associate producer, the writer, the director. There was about 8 people, and it was very, very scary. I went in and I had to be very emotional because the scene was written. It was an emotional scene that they had chosen, and I had to speak Russian in it, had to be emotional, and I was scared anyway from meeting all these producers. And Don Belisario, the creator, was there, and he happened to ask me, he goes, where are you from in Russia? And I was really scared to answer because I said, gosh, if he knows I'm not from Russia, he might not give me the role. And then I said, well, my father's from Russia, you know. And I guess he could see that I hesitated, and he said, I said, well, I'm really from Yugoslavia. And he said, where from? Because I'm from Yugoslavia, too. And then there was all this thing going on between Yugoslavia, you know, the Croatians, the Serbians, the Bosnians, the, you know, Albanians, the Muslims. And I was scared that if I said the wrong one, it might not get looked up. So I just looked up at him and I said, "Where would you like me to be from?" And he took out a cross from his shirt that was covering it, and he said, "I'm from, my grandmother is Serbian." And I was like, "Me too, me too." Then I thought, boy, I got the role, you know, and I did, and we always managed to stay friends, and because I feel he owes it to me now that we're countrymen, you know. But that was really a scary experience, and he also had me on JAG, on his other show, and not a lot of people know that his grandmother is Serbian. Anyway. And how I got I don't know if you guys have seen the Mr. and Mrs. Smith episode? Yeah? Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Was that because I was in it, or was that I was in a coma? That was the easiest job. I didn't get it. I go to work and they make me put my pajama on, no makeup. And I get paid for it, and I get to lay around in bed with Scott taking my temperature, okay? Sure, I volunteer. Well, my agent sent me the audition, and it said, you have an audition for the character of Natasha Pavlovich, who's a Bosnian Serb, whose father is a general. And I said, you gotta be kidding, you know. I went to the audition. I knew that somebody had written it for me. It was impossible, and I knew Scott was in it. So I went to the audition, and I'm looking around, and again, it's a room full of producers, and I'm being really cocky and sarcastic. I'm like, come on. And the scene that they had given me was really serious scene. It wasn't used in the show, but that's what I had auditioned. And I said, come on, who wrote this? Who knows me? So I felt like I had the job already, and nobody knew me, and they completely wrote the episode just by accident with the name Natasha Pavlovich, and I mean, it fit me like. Oh my God! I said to them, I said, listen, guys, if I don't get this, I'm gonna give it all up. And Tom Spiroff, who's Scott's friend and partner, and he's an executive producer of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, he was there. And I said, just tell Scott it's Natasha Pavlovich from Maureen Oswald days. So he told him, and Scott just said, hire her. And then when I got to the set, they were going to use a prosthesis for me because when they switched the beds, they were not going to really use me. They were going to put my face on Maria Bello. So they made like a cast of my face, and you have to sit under this thing for like 10 minutes. It's like a cast, and you can't move. And I had this being done to me in the makeup trailer, and I couldn't talk. I was just, you know, are you okay? You know, you can't be claustrophobic if you want to do this. So Scott walks in the trailer behind me, and he's like, hi, Natasha, how are you? As if I smiled, I would crack it, and I'd have to start all over again. So anyway, that was really funny, and he was making a big joke out of that. He was trying to make me laugh and crack this thing on my face.
Hi, Natasha.
Hi.
Hi. Was that slap in rehearsals, did he really whack you on, or was that a stage slap?
Yeah, no, I wanted him to slap me because it was the role. He was always, in the rehearsals, he really didn't do it, but I really wanted him to because I reacted correctly. You know, so he did whack me. And actually I had his finger marks, and I had to wait for, when we did a retake, for his finger marks to go away a little bit. It's nothing though, it was completely in character, and I let him, and he was very kind about it. He didn't want to hurt me. Scott, I've worked with a lot lot of leading men, and Scott honestly is my favorite because as soon as I arrived on the set of Quantum Leap, and our first scene was a very emotional scene, and he had to speak Russian in it, and he wanted my help, and he knew I wanted to run the scene. He said, Natasha, do you want to run lines? Just knock on my trailer. You know, that's really good. And he's nice to everybody around the set, like from makeup to the catering to whoever. He's not just nice to like producers or the guest stars. He's genuinely nice, and people like him. And reputation goes far in Hollywood. So, I never saw him naked. If that's what you're thinking. But I keep in touch with Scott, and I want you to know that I have a camera, and I'm going to take all your pictures and show it to him next week. Good. I talked to his office, and I told him that I was coming out here, and that he had a lot of fans, and he knew all about you guys, and he's really appreciative of all the support, and so I'm going to let him know how my experiences were.
I hope they're good.
They are.
Harriet Margulies from the Quantum Leap office talked about when Scott did that scene with you, that he really became Oswald, just walking down the halls of the Quantum Leap offices. Was he a little scary in that episode for you acting opposite him?
No, because I've never met Scott before. So, you know, I knew the show and everything, but no, he was very much in character through the scene, but then we'd go for lunch and, you know, he'd go off and be himself, you know. And when we were filming, though, he really was into it, especially that scene where he just comes back from shooting the general and he comes back. That was a really hard scene to shoot because it was indoors, it was hot, and he had to speak Russian, I had to speak Russian. I had two babies in my hands, and they were twins because, you know, they can't keep babies on set for a certain amount of time. And the babies, I was trying so much so they like me, and I was like, oh, yeah, you know, all that stuff. And they were so nice to me. The moment the cameras rolled, you know, they were crying, and it was good for my scene because it was really getting me down and vulnerable. I was really just ready to cry. So they helped me, but it was hard. And then Dean pops in, and it's like, where'd he come from? Now there's another guy to worry about. So he was very much in character during our scenes, but after the scene was done, he was back to Sky. And the other role that I auditioned for was for 007, you know, the two Russian girls. Well, I went in and I didn't read, so it wasn't my reading, but I just talked to them, the creators of that. What's the movie called? GoldenEye. And they said I wasn't supermodel enough. And I was a latchkey child and come home. And so I amused myself by turning on the TV, and I'd watch Gilligan's Island. I know every episode, and I got to meet Sherwood Schwartz. That was to me like, wow, the creator of Gilligan's Island. Why didn't they ever make a boat? Yeah, I was always amazed, but I let that go.
Oh, I don't know who's dumber, Frank, him or you.
I'll get another job, Connie.
And then you're going to get him another job, too? And what happens when he messes that one up? And the next one? And the next one after that?
We'll find some out.
He doesn't belong here, Frank. Can't you see that?
Hi, everybody.
I feel at home.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Kansas City, for hosting us this year. How about, they did a hell of a job. And as I'm listening to Beverly and Natasha, I'm thinking, well, how lucky we are, because as we can all attest to, it sounds a little loud, doesn't it? I've got such a big mouth, I can't imagine it. But, yes, this show, Quantum Leap, had some really nice people. In addition to being talented, they're really genuinely warm people, and the enthusiasm that they show to come back here, I think it's great. Now, I got to be as funny as Beverly and one thing I did want to point out is I've gotten to a point in my career where I insist on nudity in film. And I'm proud of it. And I told Natasha I used to do films where, you know, I would be nude and I would hide behind branches and things. And she said, "Are you sure it wasn't a twig?" It hurt me. It hurt me a lot. Yeah, that would be the most fun. And you'll be working with Terry Funk, who's done that for Quantum Leap already. We'll try and get some of the people that you know over there. There will be quite a few. Oh, you know, there was one thing I remember I forgot before. Gigi Rice has done Quantum Leap, right? Do you all know a guy named Larry Poindexter? Yes. Handsome fellow. Do you know? I'm sure you know Larry.
Gigi, I worked with her in Delta. Gigi Rice?
And what? On Delta Burke show?
Yeah. She was on Delta Burke, Gigi Rice.
Yeah.
I did an episode.
And do you know Larry Poindexter, handsome guy?
No. Larry.
Larry's like 1 degree, he's like Kevin Bacon, he knows a lot of people. Anyway, so these are my friends. I know Larry forever, and I say to Larry, because everyone, they were asking me, who else do I know that might have done a Quantum Leap? I said, Larry, by the way, I meant to ask you this, have you ever done a Quantum Leap? He said, John, did the pilot. He's in the pilot. So I guess in fact, he is a pilot in the pilot. Right? So those are two people we can have in the future we can extend invitations to, and they're really, I mean, you guys will fall in love with Larry. He's really fun. He's a great guy. Gigi is a doll too. So I think they will be in keeping in par with some of the nice guests we've been lucky to have throughout the years.
You get one of those.
I'm such a big mouth. I don't need that because I'll just go hi. I get to talk into your chest.
Well, then you would need to speak in that direction.
Hello. You know what? Part of it is we are so tired. There is like nothing interesting going through our ears right now.
We're approaching coma about right now.
We decided to watch a movie last night, even though the movie was 3 hours long. So.
Which movie?
And it was Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
You should
But
see.
boy, you can see us dancing this morning.
And Beverly and I were watching the movie, and John was there. Every now and then during a scene, Beverly and I would look at each other like that, and then we'd go back to the TV, and then in the final shot of the movie,
Oh my God!
at each other slowly, and then we both looked at John,
And then we both looked at John, and I went, "Ooh, look at the time, gotta go." "Ooh, it's really late, gotta go."
but we all slept better last night.
I had a cigarette.
We liked the movie.
All right, so anyway, for my birthday a few years ago,
When's your birthday? April.
you know,
14.
14th. Because yours is March 14th.
I'm just getting all the kids this in.
Girl.
And yours is
May 23rd.
May 23rd.
Wait.
Don't.
I'm a star. I'm the biggest star that ever was. I'm sorry, if you saw Boogie Nights, you would understand that too, so I...
I may have this in the wrong place.
I'm fascinated by the movements of the belly dancers. You know, the way they roll their stomachs. I could do that too.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's just not polite to talk about a lady's box, okay?
That movie last night. Oh, that's right.
Vicky, get out of here. Amy?
Please, get out now while you can.